because they're blaming all of that because of Mahomes' interceptions. I guess is how I'm reading this on Twitter. Maybe it's because they clap back today after the criticism upon criticism. It's one thing after another every freaking day. If this guy goes on, if Tyrann Mathieu goes on and says, ready to work, I hope you are because you're trash.
Yeah, people do stuff like that, and I feel like that's kind of unnecessary. But here's the issue we run into, and Thizz, I don't know if you agree with me, but the issue from this 5% of the fan base that continues to do this, they could run off Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
They're proving.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Dude, people don't want to play in a fan base like that. Yeah, why do you think Carson Wentz left?
Hold on. I'm with you on all of it. What do you mean he could run off Tyrann Mathieu? Tyrann Mathieu is probably as good as gone.
Oh, you think he's good as gone? Okay.
I think he's, look, man.
Well, then this is on the fans because they ran him out.
You got to realize he didn't get the extension that he was wanting, okay? The team we're losing, that's 2, and now he's going at it with fans. Yeah, he's gone. He's as good as gone.
He might be.
The same way. I'm going to be honest with you. Look at Marcus Peters. It's the same way he left, right?
Well, to a degree. I mean, Marcus Peters was a little more over the top. I mean, he was going a little. Yeah, he was fighting with the ownership, and he was a little more aggressive. But Tyrann, yeah,
what'd you say, Phil?
Man,
I think you might be right. And you might be right. I think what's going to inevitably happen with Tyrann Mathieu is that it's going to end up coming down to a shorter term deal. I know he wants to, well, for the most part, other than this situation right now, he does want to stay here. And he knows he was with 3 other teams prior to coming here. This is the team that he's flourished with. He doesn't want to leave. He loves his teammates. And for the most part, he loves the fan base. It's the ones that just constantly go after him over and over and over again. And it seems like it's like every week there's a few extras that get thrown in. And then you got dumb articles being written by people that just trash him for no reason. So that, after a while, it starts to wear on people. I mean, it's no different than Carson Wentz. He left Philadelphia for one reason and one reason only. I know this for a fact, 100%, because I know people there. He left because he couldn't stand the fan base. He got tired of being trashed. And you get to a point where it brings your whole mindset down.
I'm going to be honest with you. Here's the issue. Here's where the issue lies. When you have expectations and they're not being met, that's where, like, fans set expectations before the season. That's based on the things you hear during the off season, like Travis Kelce saying, I'm more motivated than ever. You know, Patrick Mahomes saying 20-0. That is set by certain things that you hear. Also by the optimism that you already are experiencing because, hey, we're all at 0-0 right now. So anything can happen. Carson Wentz was one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Touted players once he started getting on the roll. And then he wasn't as great as the fans thought he was supposed to be.
Well, after his injury, he didn't come back as strong.
Right. Our team,
but he lost a lot of players too.
No doubt. Our team is not as strong as we think they were, as we thought they were. It's just like unrealistic expectations that we thought, and then people get hurt by that. And now it's like, hurt people. So that's what you're seeing from the fan base. And now you're seeing hurt people by Tyrann Mathieu and Anthony Hitchens lashing back out at the fans. And it's just, it's implosion from the inside is what I would call it. And those are the worst kind of things. Those are the worst kind of injuries, man. Those are the internal bleeding is the worst kind of injuries. So
it is.
What do we have to do? What do we have to do? I don't know what exactly would remedy this, but winning cures all things. Winning cures all things. And I'm hoping we can find a way where Anthony Hitchens, or maybe not so much Anthony, because I think he's still going to be out this game.
Oh, for
but
sure.
Tyrann Mathieu and them could just funnel this into play. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Who's that? I didn't hear what you said.
Hitchens.
Oh yeah, I think he's out this week.
Yeah, he's out this week. But if they could funnel that and make it into use it as fuel and just clap back at the Chiefs fans that way, that'd be great. But it just sucks as a lifelong Chiefs fan seeing this happen. It really stinks because once you get to this point, it's hard to go back. It's really difficult as far as going back with these same plays.
It's hard to go back. I think a lot of times, when you get, it's kind of like when you go through a breakup, or you know what I'm saying. It's like when you go through a breakup and then you want to stay friends, or you want to go back to where you were. It's almost like being cheated on, and then that never leaves the back of your mind type of situation.
Yeah, you never see that person the same again. Ever.
Exactly, and I can't. I understand that part of it, and that's the hard part. That I think sometimes players, it's no different. I mean, they're looking at it from that standpoint, and again, the tweet was meant, and I want to bring this up because the tweet was meant basically for us to just be more, I guess, relaxed. We got a whole lot of football left, and to sit there and trash players day in and day out. And I know a lot of those guys. There's a bunch of them that are trolls from other fan bases. I get that part, but there's a lot of fans doing it too. And I know a lot of them are young. I know a lot of them just don't give a crap. But like the one guy said, I don't care what anybody went through prior to 2018 because I wasn't a Chiefs fan then. Well, then you're not a Chiefs fan now. He don't know
what he's talking about. He does.
Well, he's not. If he wasn't a Chiefs fan then, he's not one now.
It's like talking about history, but completely ignoring something that happened 15 years ago.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
Exactly. That's a kid that flunked history.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's exactly what it is. Guarantee it.
I mean, if you don't understand the past and how this team was into how it is now, it's a completely slope, like a stock market shoot up.
Yeah.
Saying that you're making so much money in that sense, and just looking at this, look, we need to come together, we need to just be respectful of the players. At the end of the day, we may not agree, but what you guys need to do is realize, you are out on the field. People are making it sound like they could go out there and do it themselves. I'm kind of laughing because it's just a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say I probably can't do that. And I'm not saying I could, but I'm not going to go tell Tyrann Mathieu, one of the best safeties in the league, you're terrible. I'm not going to tell Frank Clark you're terrible, even though hasn't played well. I'm not going to say it to Chris Jones. I think it's just kind of ridiculous at this point that we continue to go in circles and circles and circles, where we have someone says something, a player responds, firestorm, circle all back. Okay. No, this is national media, man. Kansas City, the fan base who says we treat our players good is now looked at terribly on a national circuit. It's trending on Twitter. So at this point, it's kind of like, what are we going to do? Because we might lose our leader in the offseason, like Thizz just said.
Well, and that's the whole thing. I mean, it's like today, okay? When we found out, and I tried to call you guys earlier this morning when I found out that we were signing Jackson, and we're bringing him to the practice squad. And I put it out on Twitter, breaking news, brought Jackson into the practice squad, and I thought it was a great move. I mean, very good move. We actually wanted him.
That's a great
I like Josh Jackson.
Me too.
I was wanting him. I honestly was wanting him over Breeden Speaks that one year.
Oh, yeah. And the biggest thing about him is that, we were actually wanted him in the draft and didn't get him, but I think he's going to get elevated. We got an open spot on the roster right now. I think there may be one more move that's going to happen between now and, what is it? I think it's Wednesday at 3, right?
I think it's, Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it's
Wednesday
at 3. CT. So there might be one more move that's getting made if they can get it done. But regardless, there's an open spot on the roster right now, and I do believe he's going to get elevated if they don't make this other move. Well, even if they do, I think he's going to get elevated. But anyway, regardless, that's a great move. So I put it out on Twitter, breaking news. We signed Josh Jackson to the practice squad. well, he's some guy. I don't know who he is. His account was fairly new. He goes, well, he's not that good. Okay, well, first of all, he's very good. And maybe because he was in the wrong system, he didn't play very well. See, people don't ever take into account that a player may not do very well because of the system that he's in, the coaching that he has. There's so many different variables why a player may not do well in a certain system or with a certain organization. They may do very well with ours. They may do very well with Green Bay or anybody else for that matter. But even though he was with Green Bay, but I'm just saying it's all about the system, the coaching staff that you have, and who you work best with. He may flourish in our system. We just don't know. We're not the coaches. Yeah, and we're not the coaches. So for somebody to say, well, he's not that good, well, how do you know? If you're not out there on the field with them, just because you think you saw that he may not be that good, doesn't mean he's not that good. He's in the NFL for a reason. There's a reason why he was drafted where he was drafted at. There's a reason why he's in the league. If you're in the league, you're good enough to be in the league. It's that simple. Someone saw something in you that brought you into the NFL. It's that simple. And if you lasted longer than 2 or 3 years and you're still in the league, there's a reason why you're still in the league. Because someone still sees something in you.
And I think this kind of also stems from the issues we've had. Well, I haven't had, but fans have had with Hardman. I mean, they were going after the guy, expecting him to be this great receiver, and he finally just tweeted one day, when are you guys going to finally realize I'm not the number one option?
Yeah.
I mean, it just kind of shows that the lack of football knowledge is very minimal with some of these fans because they do not understand basics. For the 800th billionth time, McCole Hardman was not drafted to be Tyreek Hill's replacement, so stop thinking him to be. He's
actually drafted to be Sammy's replacement to a degree. I mean, that's what he was brought in for. Yeah,
and he's more athletic. He's not injury prone. He can do a lot of different things. However, when it comes down to it, we could lose to McCole Hardman at the end of the day. We really could. Yeah. And we could be losing out some free agents because the fan base want to act some crazy people right now and want to be rude. And it's just ridiculous.
If we don't lose out on them, we'll be paying a premium for them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
The fans make it harder at the end of the day for anyone. Thizz just hit it right on the head. V's just gonna have to shell out some money, and we don't really got much right now.
And that's what we don't have. That's what we don't have. It's crazy.
Go ahead.
It's like I said. I think it's partially some of the new fans that don't know what it is to go through the lean years, and then it has a lot to do with. Do I think they're fake Raiders fans? Maybe, I don't know.
Oh yeah, there is. There's a lot of troll accounts out there.
Yeah, but it's just. I think everybody. I don't know, man. I think everybody's hurting. They expected something. They didn't get what they expected.
Well, it's embarrassment too, and I get that. I mean,
but they acted like they're acting like they're going to Worlds of Fun and paying to get on some rides, and the rides aren't good. Football is a game that's going to be so many up and downs. We can wish and pay money and all we want for jerseys, tickets, decor, but sometimes the team just doesn't deliver, and that's just life.
Well, it's like Mahomes said. It's just like Mahomes said. Yeah, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
But it's like you finally do all that stuff. You finally go get the ride, and it's like not what you thought. And next thing you know, you're over here trashing it. It might not have been as bad as it was.
Exactly.
But now, but now you're here like this wasn't what I expected, and now it's like, dang, I feel let down. I feel there's so many emotions in the feeling of being let down, and it just I don't know how other fan bases are. I don't know how the 49ers feel.
Well, they got 6 fans.
No, the 49ers got more than 6. JP. Come on, that's a Chargers.
But I want you to consider, like, we say Philly was toxic. We say
they are toxic.
We say Boston is toxic.
They are.
And we say the 49ers, like, I don't know how they responded.
They're actually, weirdly enough, the 49ers have I tease them, but they have a phenomenal fan base. It is a smaller fan base, but they have a great fan base, man. They're behind their team